Hey you, and you as well. How long has it been since you last cleaned your sewing machine? And as for me, I'm also guilty because my machine is filthy. And it is one of these things that we never do, or we always forget, because the machine works. You just press the pedal and it sews. But if you don't do it, it can have really bad consequences. So stay with me until the end and let's clean it together. I haven't cleaned it for I don't know how long, but I've been sewing a lot, so it needs cleaning. And that way you clean it as well. And don't forget to subscribe, it's free, and that way you don't miss anything. And if you're new around here, my name's Irene and I like sewing about anything really. And I have here a few questions, I think 6 or 7, because sometimes they repeat themselves, like when you talk about something and the next one you also mention it. So well, but the thing is that people have asked me how long before I clean it, or how often, and things like that. So, and in my case, I had to clean it, so I thought I should make a video about this because it's been a long time since I made the other one. So here we are. And what happens if I don't clean it? That is going to make a terrible noise, a crackling sound that's going to drive you mad. But apart from that, the sewing is going to be really hard. You're going to see how it gets stuck, and even if you try to move it manually, it won't work. And this means that the bobbin is going to make knots, and in these knots you can even break needles. So it's much better to invest some time in cleaning it than having all this trouble, because your seams won't look sharp and won't be even at all. And the question everybody always asks me is, how often should I clean my sewing machine and how often should I oil it? And it depends. That's the problem, that I cannot say every week, every 2 weeks, or once a month, because it depends on how often you sew and how much you use it. If you don't use it that much, just for some mending every once in a while, you can deal with cleaning it and oiling maybe per season or once every 3 months. But if you sew often, if you have it set in your sewing room and it's by hand and you sew quite often, you should clean it at least once a month. Or even if you are a sewist, maybe every time you finish a project, try brushing the dust away and just keep it like that, clean. And then every 2 weeks or every month, just clean it and oil it completely. But it depends. You cannot tell anyone just a date. What you can do is set yourself, see how it works, see how often you should clean it. When it starts not sewing smoothly, you'll know when to clean it. So the same as cleaning the ceiling fans or washing curtains, something like that. How do I know my sewing machine is dirty? Because all the crackling sound we were saying it makes is going to start sewing not smoothly, but vibrating and moving a lot on your table. So you're going to know when it needs cleaning. And apart from that, all the dust and all the lint the thread is leaving down there on the bobbin, you're going to see it, and that's the time when you're going to say, well, I should clean my sewing machine. What tools do I need? The machine brings a little kit of screwdrivers and your oil and things like that. One of my screwdrivers is missing. I don't know where I put it. I don't know if it fell somewhere and I can't find it right now. It's shorter and it's really good for these screws here. I'll have to manage with this one I have. So, but anyways, don't lose your screwdrivers. And then I also like to use a makeup brush because the lint gets stuck here. So it's really easy to remove. You don't blow it away. It just gets caught here and you can get rid of it quite easily. And apart from that, a microfiber cloth for the outside. And how do you take it apart and in which order? Of course, like everything, all the dust is going to come down, and all the lint. So the logical thing to do is going from top to bottom. So there's 3 parts we have to take apart. This here, then the plate on the sewing machine, the one that has the guides, it has 2 screws. You can do it as well. And there's loads of lint there. And then the bottom bit, the bobbin area. And that way, everything will go down and you won't miss anything, or you won't get anything dirty again just because it's coming down. So try not to be afraid, but we're going to start doing it. And it comes right out. Don't lose your screws. There. Oh. Well, it has some lint, but nothing that scares a lot. So with the brush, I'm going to start brushing and getting all of it, especially from this area here. And with this area sorted, let's go to the next one, which is the plate. This is the moment of truth. I thought it was going to be much worse. And here we're going to do the same. Very carefully remove the lint so it doesn't go deeper in the machine. And now the bobbin case, which we're going to take apart with the 2 little levers it has, and then start cleaning in there. Now the bobbin case, which we're going to apart with the 2 little levers it has, and then start cleaning in there. I must say it wasn't clean, was it? Madre mía. Let's give it a wipe as well before greasing it, before oiling. What happened? Okay. And what oil do we use? The one that the sewing machine brings. Don't use any other one that you use for doors or for your carriage door or things like that, because they are thicker oils. And this is made by experts. I mean, this is really light. So you should use this one, because the other ones is going to clog and stay there and the machine won't move at all. So just get this one. You're only going to use 1 or 2 drops and that's enough. So 1 here on this long bit where the needle is, and then another drop inside the bobbin case. And let's move it so it gets everywhere. And now we're going to put it together again and try it with an old piece of a scrap or an old cloth, so the oil stays in there and doesn't ruin our next project. And some people are afraid of not being able to put it all back together once you've taken it apart. And one thing that you can do, the same as when you're doing when you're sewing a project or mending something, is that you can take note of the steps while doing it and then repeating them the other way around. So if I took the bobbin out and then all those 2 pieces really is not much, we're going to put them in the other order, so that way we don't get lost and we know what we're doing. And now let's sew a little bit so the oil moves. And of course, what better way to keep it clean and away from dust than making a cover for it. So I'll leave you the link, don't miss it. Well, make sure you keep sewing for a while so you don't ruin the next project with the oil. It's not a thick oil, I don't think it stains that much, but just in case, let's make sure so we don't mess up anything. And let me know down in the comments any other tips you have for cleaning or keeping clean your sewing machine, but not using compressor, because it can get the lint even more inside the machine, so it will be worse. And what else? And don't forget to subscribe, it's free, and that way you don't miss anything. Press the bell so YouTube tells you when I upload, and you can also hype, share, like, and everything. And I'm also on Instagram, so I'll see you around. Bye.